The chosen one. The storm raged inside you, not the kind that tears through skies, but the kind that stirs the soul, silent, consuming, relentless. You could feel it, the whisper that refused to fade, the question that echoed louder each time you tried to silence it. Why me? Why this path? Why the loneliness that shadows every step? You never asked to be different. You only wanted peace, to belong somewhere, to anyone. Yet, no matter how far you stretched yourself to fit into the world, something invisible always kept you apart. The laughter of the crowd never fully reached you, and the warmth of belonging slipped through your fingers like smoke. You tried to drown that voice with noise, with people, with distractions, but it returned stronger each time. And tonight, in this stillness, it finally speaks clearly. This is not rejection. It is revelation. They call you the chosen one. Not because you were stronger, not because you were more deserving, but because your soul was tuned to a frequency few can hear. The divine does not call the comfortable. The divine calls the restless, the ones who can no longer pretend that life is ordinary. From the beginning, there was a difference in you, a distance between your heart and the world's rhythm. You felt too much, thought too deeply, questioned too often. People told you to stop overthinking, to just live. But how could you? You sensed things others ignored, the shift in a room's energy, the sorrow behind a stranger's smile, the unspoken words that lingered long after conversations ended. You thought it was weakness, but it was a sacred signal. You see, your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is spiritual awareness wrapped in human flesh. When you walk into a room and feel the heaviness pressing against your chest, that is not anxiety, it is discernment. When you sense dishonesty before it's revealed, that is not paranoia, it is prophetic sight. The divine designed you this way for a reason. You are meant to see through illusions, to feel the invisible, to recognize the truth even when it hides behind smiles. But such awareness comes with a price, the loneliness of knowing too much, the ache of seeing what others choose to ignore. This is why you struggle in crowds. This is why your spirit grows weary when surrounded by noise. You were never meant to be lost in the masses. You were meant to rise above them. There was a time you mistook your isolation for punishment. You cried out, wondering why love, friendship, and belonging always seemed just out of reach. But hear this truth now, your isolation is not exile, it is preparation. Every soul chosen for a higher purpose must first walk through the wilderness. Look at the patterns of the sacred stories, the prophets, the healers, the messengers. Before revelation came silence. Before purpose came separation. Even the greatest had to wander alone before they were found. So too must you. Your loneliness is not a void. It is a refining fire. Each quiet night that breaks you down is shaping you into someone unbreakable. Each unanswered prayer is clearing the noise so you can hear the divine whisper without distortion. There will be days when you question everything. You will look around and envy the ones who move easily through life, surrounded by love and laughter. But chosen ones are not called to easy paths. You are called to meaningful ones. There will be times when your faith wavers, when the silence feels too loud and the darkness too long. You will wonder if you've been forgotten. But you are not forgotten, you are being forged. Each storm you survive is a sign that heaven still has plans for you. Each disappointment is proof that not all doors are meant to open. Some are meant to protect you from what would destroy your purpose. And now, as you stand here, between what was and what will be, you must decide. Will you resist your calling, or will you surrender to it? The world will not understand your solitude. They will call it distance, pride, even coldness. But the truth is, they cannot comprehend the weight you carry. You are not antisocial. You are sacred. Your energy is rare. Your presence divine. And the divine guards what is precious. So if you have ever felt that you do not belong, remember this. You were not meant to belong to them. You were meant to belong to God's plan. Every tear you shed in the dark, every night you questioned your worth, none of it was wasted. It was all part of the sacred design. And soon, when the time is right, when the silence has done its work, you will rise. Not as the broken one who longed for belonging, but as the awakened one who understands why solitude was necessary. You will walk into rooms not to be seen, but to shift the atmosphere. You will speak not for attention, but because truth burns within you like holy fire. You will become the embodiment of peace in a world drowning in noise. If you feel this truth, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches the comments It's a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. For now, breathe. You are not lost. You are being prepared, and in the stillness of this sacred separation, the divine is whispering your next command. The storm is not your enemy, it is your awakening, the chosen one. The silence was no longer empty. It had become a mirror. In it, you saw your reflection, tired, uncertain, burdened with questions that echoed louder than any prayer. You wanted to believe that the call on your life was real, that all this pain had a purpose, but the longer you waited, the more distant the voice of the divine began to feel. You whispered into the night, "If I am chosen, why do I feel abandoned?" No answer came, only the faint hum of your own heartbeat, steady yet haunted. And in that quiet ache, a truth began to surface. Faith is not proven by the presence of light, but by the endurance of darkness. There are moments in every chosen one's path when belief feels like madness, when the weight of expectation presses so hard upon your chest that even breathing becomes an act of defiance. You start to question if you misunderstood everything, if the dreams were illusions, if the signs were coincidences, if maybe, just maybe, you were never called at all. But here is the mystery. The divine never tests your strength when you are certain. It tests you when you are broken. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to keep walking even when the way disappears. You are walking blindfolded through sacred fire, and though your flesh trembles, your spirit is being tempered into steel. People will misunderstand you. They will call you distant when you are discerning. They will call you strange when you are sanctified. They will mock the silence that you have learned to honor because they cannot bear their own. You will be tempted to prove yourself, to show the world that your isolation is not weakness, that your sensitivity is not fragility. But remember this, chosen one, truth does not beg to be believed. It simply stands and waits to be revealed. Every accusation, every rejection, every whispered doubt, they are chisels, shaping your soul into something eternal. You cannot be broken by human misunderstanding when your foundation was laid by divine design. Still, the fire hurts. There will be nights when you kneel in the dark, asking if God still sees you. There will be mornings when you wake and wish you could go back to who you were before the calling, before the loneliness, before the endless questions. You will reach a point where surrender feels like defeat and silence feels like exile. But that is the point where revelation is born. When everything familiar is stripped away, only the truth remains. This is the paradox of the chosen one. You are both fragile and infinite, both wounded and divine. The same fire that burns you is the fire that refines you. The same silence that haunts you is the silence in which heaven speaks. In this season, you are learning what many never will. That divine purpose is not a crown, it is a cross. It is not about shining before the world. It is about carrying light through its darkest corridors. There will come a time when those who doubted you will see the glow they once mocked. But that is not your concern. You are not here to be validated by sight. You are here to be guided by faith. And faith, chosen one, is the courage to stand when nothing makes sense. You will notice something changing within you. Your anger softens into understanding. Your wounds turn into wisdom. Your pain becomes prophecy. Because what breaks you also builds you, and what isolates you also anoints you. Every disappointment has been divine choreography, positioning you closer to purpose. Every delay has been sacred timing, keeping you from doors that were never meant for you. Every heartbreak has carved a deeper space within your heart space wide enough to hold divine love. You are not behind. You are being refined. Still, the mind rebels. You will feel the pull of doubt like gravity, whispering, "You imagined it all. You are just tired. You are not chosen, only lost." But doubt is not your enemy. It is your invitation to seek deeper truth. Every soul that carries divine purpose must wrestle with disbelief. Even the great ones before you questioned the heavens. Moses doubted his voice. Elijah fled from his calling. Christ wept in the garden. Yet through their doubt came revelation, and through their surrender came power. So let your questions rise, chosen one. The divine is not threatened by your uncertainty. Faith that cannot survive questioning is not faith. It is fear disguised as devotion. As the world grows louder, your silence becomes your shield. As others chase recognition, your humility becomes your strength. The very things that once made you feel small will become the reasons you stand tall. Your loneliness is not emptiness, it is sacred space. Your tears are not weakness, they are baptism. Every scar is a verse in the scripture of your becoming. The path of the chosen one is not about escape, It is about endurance. It is about finding peace, not after the storm, but within it. Now, listen closely. You are approaching the threshold of transformation. The fire is nearly done. The silence is breaking. The voice you thought you lost is returning not from above, but from within. You will soon realize that what you were waiting for has been inside you all along. The guidance you seek is not distant. It is the whisper you silenced out of fear. The divine has never been absent, only patient. The same voice that called you into isolation is now calling you into awakening, not to prove your worth, but to remind you of it. Write 333 inches the comments. It's a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. You are not who you were. The doubt that once crippled you has become your teacher. The silence that once frightened you has become your sanctuary. And as you rise from this chapter of uncertainty, the world will not recognize you, because you are no longer the one who questioned the calling. You are the one who answered it. The storm within has become your strength. And this is only the beginning, the chosen one. The silence after revelation is not peace, it is testing. You thought the storm had passed, that your faith had found its balance, that the pain had meaning. But here you are again, walking through a desert that stretches endlessly before you. No voice, no vision, only the echo of what once was. This is the wilderness, the sacred space between who you were and who you are becoming. Every chosen one must cross it. There is no shortcut. There is no map, only trust. You stand here, stripped of comfort, carrying the weight of your calling like a flame cupped in trembling hands. The air is dry with uncertainty. The nights are cold with doubt, and yet, somewhere beyond the horizon, destiny waits. You have been hidden for a reason. The world does not yet understand your language, and heaven has not yet given you permission to speak. You are being refined in silence, like gold buried beneath ash. It feels lonely, even cruel, but this isolation is sacred craftsmanship. The divine hides you, not because you are unworthy, but because you are not yet ready to be revealed. The world sees only the surface, but heaven works in the unseen. Before light can shine outward, it must burn inward. You are being purified by pressure, and though you ache for release, the fire must finish its work. For if you rise too soon, your wings will melt beneath the weight of your own light. You may wonder why you were called to a journey so steeped in struggle. Why must every blessing be born in pain? Why must every revelation be preceded by loss? Because destiny does not grow in comfort. Purpose is not born on mountaintops, it is born in valleys, where you meet the limits of your humanity and find the beginning of your divinity. It is here, in the in-between, that your heart learns the rhythm of surrender, the rhythm of listening without sound, the rhythm of waiting without sight. You are not being punished, chosen one. You are being positioned. The desert is deceptive. At first, it feels like death, dry, endless, merciless. But look closer, and you will see that it is not barren. It is blooming in silence. Every unanswered prayer is a seed buried deep beneath your feet. Every lonely night is watering it with unseen tears. And when the time comes, those hidden seeds will break through the sand as revelations, blooming in impossible places. Do not curse this season, for this is where heaven watches, who you become when nothing works and no one sees. This is where character is carved into the soul, where obedience is proven not by applause, but by persistence. Still, there are days when your spirit shakes, when the whispers of doubt return like a desert wind, soft but relentless. They say, "You are forgotten, you are unworthy, you are alone." But remember, even in the wilderness, the divine is near. You are not abandoned. You are being observed. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. The silence is not absence, it is instruction. You are learning to hear with your spirit what your ears cannot yet comprehend. You are learning to walk not by vision, but by vibration, by the pulse of faith that beats inside you even when the world falls quiet. Every great awakening begins with a breaking, and perhaps this is your breaking. Not the kind that destroys, but the kind that reshapes. The kind that strips away the illusion of control and reveals what was always true: you were never walking alone. This is where you begin to understand that surrender is not weakness, it is alignment. It is not giving up, it is giving over. It is the moment when you stop fighting for clarity and start trusting in mystery. You have not lost your way. You are walking through the refining fire of destiny, and every step, though painful, is sacred. There will be people who once walked beside you, now fading into the distance. Let them go. Not everyone is meant to cross the desert with you. Some were only sent for the beginning, not the becoming. The divine separates you, not out of cruelty, but out of care. Your calling requires space room, to breathe, to think, to evolve, without interference. And though loneliness bites at your heart like cold wind, remember this: every time you are alone, heaven speaks louder. It is in solitude that your gifts are sharpened, your insight deepens, and your courage is tested. You are learning to move in silence, to hear what others miss, to walk with unseen companions, angels of destiny, guiding your every step. But even warriors grow weary. There will be nights when you lay under the weight of the stars and whisper, "I can't carry this anymore." And it is then that the divine will whisper back, "You were never meant to carry it alone." You will begin to understand that surrender is not the end of strength, it is the beginning of divine partnership. You are not being called to control the outcome, you are being called to trust the orchestration. So walk slowly, breathe deeply. Even in this wilderness, there is purpose. Even in this silence, there is sound. And when the dawn comes, when light breaks across the horizon of your waiting, you will not be who you were. The one who doubted will have vanished. The one who endured will rise. And the fire that once tested you will now illuminate your path. Because the desert does not destroy the chosen, it defines them. Your isolation was not exile, it was elevation. Your silence was not absence, it was alignment. You are not lost. You are hidden, not forgotten, protected. So when your heart trembles beneath the weight of waiting, remember, even the desert has destiny. If this truth stirs something in you, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches the comments. It's a prophetic sign that you are walking in divine alignment. The storm has passed, but the mission has just begun. The silence will break soon, and when it does, the world will hear what heaven has whispered through you. The chosen one. The stillness before dawn felt heavier than ever. You had crossed the desert, endured the silence, and now you stood on the edge of something vast, something that both terrified and called you. This was no longer about survival, it was about surrender. The night was quiet, but your spirit was not. It churned, restless, trembling beneath the weight of revelation. You could sense it the moment approaching, when the illusions that had shaped your life would begin to shatter. You had prayed for clarity, not realizing that clarity often comes through collapse. To awaken is to lose what once felt certain. To see truth is to watch falsehood fall apart. You begin to notice it now, how the world no longer feels the same. The laughter of the crowd rings hollow. The promises of comfort feel heavy with deception. Everything you once leaned on begins to crumble under the weight of your new awareness. And somewhere deep inside you hear a whisper. It was never supposed to hold you. This is the unraveling of illusions, the sacred undoing. The divine does not destroy what is real, it destroys what keeps you from it. And so, as you awaken, you will lose things that no longer match your vibration. People, beliefs, habits, even identities one by one, they will fall away. You will try to hold on, thinking it's love. But the truth is, it's fear. Fear of who you will be without what once defined you. Chosen one. Do not fear this breaking. It is not the end, it is the beginning of power. You cannot step into destiny, still bound by the echoes of who you used to be. When the divine begins to rebuild you, it does not patch the old structure. It burns it down and lays a new foundation. And though your mind may resist, your soul remembers. It knows that destruction is only the first act of creation. Every chosen one must experience this sacred collapse, the dismantling of false selves, the death of borrowed truths, the undoing of illusions that once kept you safe. Because only when the old has fallen can the eternal begin to rise. You will grieve, even for what hurt you. You will miss the comfort of confusion, the predictability of your chains. There is a strange security in pain that is familiar. But this is the cost of awakening. Every attachment must be tested, every identity purified by fire. And so you find yourself here, half broken, half reborn, standing in the ashes of who you were, staring into the unknown of who you are becoming. This is not weakness, this is divine metamorphosis. Like the seed that must split before it grows, you too must break before you bloom. The pain is not punishment, it is permission. Permission to evolve, to rise, to embody the fullness of your calling. The divine is not asking you to be strong, it is asking you to be real. Strength built on illusion will crumble. Authenticity forged in fire will endure forever. So let the tears fall. Let the anger surface. Let the questions spill out like rivers that have been waiting centuries to flow. The divine is not afraid of your breaking. He is using it. Every crack in your heart is an entry point for light. And as the false layers peel away, you begin to feel something stirring deep within you, something ancient, something powerful, something holy. This is not new. It is remembrance. It is the return of your true essence. But be warned, chosen one, as your light grows, darkness will take notice. Not every battle will come from outside. Some will be waged within. You will feel the pull of old patterns trying to reclaim you. You will hear the familiar voices of doubt calling you back to comfort. And you will be tempted to return to the noise, to the crowd, to the life that once felt safe. But you cannot go back. You have seen too much. You have heard the whisper. You have touched the truth. The old world will no longer fit the new you. You will try to wear your past like an old garment, but it will tear at the seams. The vibration you now carry cannot coexist with what you've outgrown. So walk forward, trembling if you must, but walk. The only way through the breaking is to trust the rebuilding. And then, one night, when the grief feels unbearable, something happens. You stop fighting. You stop begging for what was. And in that surrender, the world shifts. You feel a peace you cannot explain. Not the peace of answers, but the peace of acceptance. The kind that comes when you stop trying to understand and simply begin to trust. You realize that you were never waiting for the divine to move. The divine was waiting for you to let go. Chosen one, this is the moment you are reborn, not into perfection, but into purpose. The power you've been praying for is not something you must receive, it's something you must remember. Every pain that hollowed you out has made space for divine strength. Every heartbreak that broke you open has made room for divine love. And now, as you stand in the light of your own resurrection, you understand you were never losing yourself. You were returning to yourself. You are not who you were before the desert. You are not who you were before the silence. You are something entirely new. You will begin to feel energy returning, not from people, but from purpose, not from validation, but from vision. The fire that once burned to destroy you now burns to guide you. You are learning to move not from fear, but from faith, not from control, but from flow. You are the storm and the calm, the question and the answer, the wound and the healer. You are the chosen one. And this breaking is your becoming. If this truth resonates in your spirit, write 333 inches the comments. It's a prophetic sign that your breakthrough is near. Do not resist the collapse. It is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of your becoming. The illusions are falling so that truth may rise. And from these ashes, a divine warrior will emerge. The chosen one. You thought the breaking was the end. You thought that once you surrendered, peace would finally come. But peace, for the chosen ones, is not the absence of conflict, it is the mastery of it. Now that you have awakened, the shadows you once ignored have turned to face you. They no longer hide in the corners of your life. They stand before you, reflecting everything you still fear, everything you still doubt, everything you still refuse to release. You are standing in the battlefield of your own becoming, and though no sword has touched your flesh, the war within you rages like fire. The divine does not call the chosen into comfort, it calls them into confrontation first with themselves. You are not fighting demons in the world. You are wrestling with the fragments of who you used to be. Every unhealed wound, every hidden insecurity, every suppressed fear, they rise now like ghosts, demanding acknowledgement. This is not punishment. This is purification. The light you carry cannot rise higher until the darkness within you is faced. You see, chosen one, many pray for power, but few are willing to endure the purification that precedes it. You have been called not just to hold the light, but to embody it. And light cannot dwell where denial lives. The shadows whisper to you now. They take the shape of old memories, failed dreams, familiar pains. They tell you that you are unworthy, that you are too broken to fulfill your calling, that you will fail as you did before, and in your weakest moments, you almost believe them. But listen closely, those are not prophecies. They are echoes of the person you are leaving behind. The darkness does not fight the light because it is stronger, it fights because it knows its time is short. The closer you come to your purpose, the louder the shadows will scream. Do not run from them, face them. They are not your enemies. They are your initiation. In every chosen one's life, there comes a sacred confrontation, a night of the soul, where the voice of fear and the voice of faith clash in silence. This is your night. This is your test. You will be tempted to return to what is safe, to go back to the places that once held you, even if they also hurt you. But destiny does not move backward. It requires you to walk forward into the unknown with trembling faith and unwavering trust. You will not always feel ready, but readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. The divine does not wait for your confidence. It calls for your obedience. The battle intensifies. You wake from dreams that feel like warnings. You sense unseen eyes watching you, as if the world itself holds its breath. Everything feels amplified. Your emotions, your thoughts, your energy. This is the sign that your spirit has entered a higher realm of awareness. When your vibration rises, resistance appears, not to destroy you, but to strengthen your discernment. The shadows around you begin to react because the light within you is expanding. You are no longer a silent observer. You are a beacon in a world afraid of illumination. And so, you will notice the shift. Certain people will distance themselves. Certain spaces will no longer welcome you. Not because you have changed for the worse, but because your energy now exposes what they cannot hide. You are light in motion, and light reveals all things. But even as you shine, beware of arrogance. For even the chosen can fall if they mistake power for purpose. The moment you begin to believe the light belongs to you, you step out of alignment with its source. You are not the origin, you are the vessel. Your strength flows from surrender, not control. You are powerful because you are willing to be emptied again and again, allowing the divine to pour through you without resistance. You are not called to dominate the darkness. You are called to transmute it, to turn pain into wisdom, wounds into healing, trials into testimony. You do not conquer by force, you conquer by awareness. And yet, the inner battle persists. Some nights, the divine warrior is still human. You are not meant to be perfect. You are meant to be present. Even in your tears, the divine is near. Even in your trembling, heaven watches. Every time you rise after breaking, the heavens take note. Because the chosen are not known by how flawlessly they walk, but by how relentlessly they rise. Do not despise the nights when faith feels like fiction and hope feels like smoke. These nights are sacred. They are where power is forged, where conviction takes root, and where you learn that light does not need to be loud to be real. Your faith will not roar, it will whisper, and yet that whisper will move mountains. The world around you may not understand this journey. They see only the surface, the calm expression, the quiet strength. They cannot see the storms that rage beneath your skin, the countless inner wars fought in silence. They will call you strong, unaware of the countless nights you nearly collapsed. They will call you blessed, unaware of the battles that birthed your blessings. They will admire your peace, not knowing it was purchased with pain. But you will understand, because by now, you have learned the rhythm of divine paradox, that strength is born from surrender, and power is born from humility. Chosen one, this is the mystery you now embody. You are both shadow and light, and neither can be denied. Your mission is not to destroy the darkness within, but to bring it into harmony with your light. The shadow is not your curse, it is your teacher. It shows you where love must enter, where forgiveness must bloom, where compassion must grow. Every piece of darkness that once frightened you now becomes soil for your transformation, because you cannot heal what you refuse to see. And you cannot carry divine power while rejecting the parts of yourself that still bleed. Your task is not to escape your humanity, it is to sanctify it. As your inner world expands, you begin to feel the subtle shift between reacting and responding, between rushing and flowing, between fear and faith. You begin to see that the enemy was never people, never fate. It was always the unhealed parts of yourself, whispering untruths into your divine identity. You start to speak differently. You move differently. You stop chasing and begin attracting. You stop explaining and begin embodying. Because true power does not shout, it emanates. It is silent, sovereign, steady. You are no longer the one begging heaven for answers. You are the one heaven now speaks through. Still, the final battle of this season awaits, the battle between the voice of purpose and the echo of your past. The old world will come knocking, disguised as comfort. Old temptations will whisper your name, promising ease, familiarity, relief. But these are not invitations, they are tests. You must decide now whether you will live by memory or by revelation. The memory of who you were, or the revelation of who you are becoming. The crowd will never understand why you choose the narrow road, but chosen ones are not meant to be understood, they are meant to be followed. Your obedience will speak louder than any sermon. Your peace will become your prophecy. You will begin to notice divine timing weaving through your life, subtle synchronicities, sacred alignments, signs that confirm you are walking the right path. Doors will open that no hand could have unlocked. People will arrive just as you are ready to receive them, and blessings will appear not because you chased them, but because you matched them. The energy of your faith has changed the landscape of your reality. You are no longer walking through chaos. You are commanding it into order. But even now, humility is your anchor. Never forget, you are chosen to serve, not to shine for your own glory. Your light is for others still trapped in the shadows you have already conquered. You are the bridge between the divine and the broken, the healer who once needed healing, the teacher who once doubted every lesson, the warrior who once feared the very battle they were born to fight. And one day soon, the divine will speak again, not in thunder, but in peace. You will hear the words echo deep within your soul. You have fought well, my child. Now, rise. The war within will still whisper, but it will no longer control you. The shadows will still move, but they will now follow your light. You will have learned that the goal was never to be unshaken, it was to know where to stand when the shaking comes. This is divine mastery. This is spiritual maturity. This is the chosen one's awakening. So when the next wave rises, do not fear it. You are no longer who you were when the storm first began. You now understand that storms do not come to destroy you, they come to reveal you. Every trial was a mirror, every loss, a lesson, every silence, a message. You were never being broken, you were being built. If you feel this truth resonate in your spirit, write 333 inches the comments. It's a prophetic sign that your light has conquered your shadow. Stand tall, chosen one. The battle is not over, but you are no longer fighting from fear. You are fighting from victory. The darkness recognizes you now, not as prey, but as power, and soon the world will too. The chosen one. The morning feels different now. The silence that once haunted you has softened into peace. You can feel it. The air itself hums with quiet purpose. The same light that once flickered uncertainly inside you now burns steady, sure, eternal. This is not the end of your journey. It is the unveiling of it. The wilderness has done its work. The battle has carved its wisdom into your bones. And now, what was once confusion has become clarity. You no longer question why you were called. You understand that you were never meant to fit in, never meant to blend, never meant to disappear into the noise of the world. You were meant to stand out, not for attention, but for alignment. Not to be praised, but to be placed exactly where the divine needs you most. Look back now, chosen one. See how every season of pain was a prophecy. How every unanswered prayer became an unspoken protection. How every delay was not denial, but divine redirection. You were not waiting for blessings to find you, you were being prepared to carry them. The strength you now hold was forged in the fires you once begged to escape. The wisdom you now walk in was born from the wounds that once made you weep. What once broke you has become your foundation. The cracks that frightened you now let the light shine through. You have become the very thing the darkness feared, a living reminder that divine purpose cannot be buried, delayed, or denied. Now you stand between two worlds, the seen and the unseen. One foot in human struggle, the other in divine strength. You are no longer who you were, yet not fully who you will be. You are the bridge, the vessel through which heaven touches earth. And this realization brings both peace and weight. For to be chosen is not to be elevated, it is to be entrusted. It is not to escape suffering, it is to transmute it. You are called to be the light that walks into shadowed places, not to curse the dark, but to transform it. Every word you speak now carries vibration. Every step you take carries legacy. You are no longer merely living, you are fulfilling. But even in this revelation, you will still be tested. The greater your light, the subtler the distractions that will seek to pull you from your center. Some will come as admiration, others as opportunity, still others as comfort disguised as destiny. Remember this truth: the higher your calling, the quieter your path must become. Do not be tempted to return to the noise you were delivered from. Do not dilute your discernment by chasing applause. You have learned the language of silence. Guard it like treasure, because in the stillness, you hear the instructions that the world cannot. And those instructions, those whispers of the divine, will guide you toward the purpose that no man can take, and no darkness can touch. There will come a moment soon when the very people who doubted you will see the fruit of your obedience. They will not understand how it happened. They will think it came suddenly, but you will know. You will remember the years of isolation, the nights of prayer, the hidden battles that shaped you when no one was watching. They will see the result, but heaven saw the process. And in that moment, you will not boast. You will simply smile, because you will know it was never you, it was always the divine moving through you. Your success will not be loud. It will be luminous. It will not need to prove itself. It will simply be. Chosen one, you are entering the season of revelation. Everything that once confused you will make sense. Everything that once hurt you will reveal its healing. Everything that once delayed you will unfold in perfect timing. The divine has aligned the pieces. The doors that were once locked are opening quietly, without effort, because you now carry the vibration of readiness. The promises that felt distant are approaching with speed. The people meant for your mission are beginning to appear, drawn not by chance, but by destiny. You will no longer chase what is aligned will find you. And yet, remember this sacred warning. Do not let victory distract you from virtue. Do not let revelation erase reverence. You have not arrived, you have awakened. Keep your heart soft. Keep your hands open. Keep your spirit teachable. For every new level of purpose requires a deeper level of humility. The more you rise, the more you must bow. The more you see, the more you must listen. You are not just chosen to shine, you are chosen to serve. And one day, when you have finished the work appointed to you, you will look back on this wilderness, this breaking, this awakening, and you will understand. It was all love. The fire that burned you was refining you. The silence that frightened you was guiding you. The isolation that crushed you was protecting you. You were never abandoned. You were being anointed. Never rejected, only redirected. Never delayed, only developed. The divine did not forget you. He was forming you. Now, chosen one, rise, not in pride, but in purpose, not in fear, but in faith. The world you once hid from is waiting for the light you now carry. Speak truth into confusion. Bring calm into chaos. Be the mirror through which others see that healing is possible, that faith is not foolish, that light never loses. You are the prophecy fulfilled. You are the message made flesh. You are the continuation of a divine story written long before your birth. And this moment is the chapter where you finally step into the fullness of your power. If you feel this truth rising within you, write 333 inches the comments. It's a prophetic sign that your destiny has awakened. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are the permission. You are no longer seeking the path. You are the path. The darkness has recognized your light, and the world will soon do the same. Walk boldly now. Chosen one, your time has come.